One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy this stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Things are better than expected. The economy, the consumer, we're seeing strength in the earnings. Again, better than feared.
Better than feared. Don't you love that? What they won't tell you, earnings are really bad. Now, what they did is they told it, remember, we had great earnings up until Biden took office. And the earnings right now, they said, they're going to come in, they're going to drop about 6%. Then when they dropped 2.3%, oh, wow, look at that. Boy, earnings are really great. No, earnings aren't great. They're contracting. How can you say they're great? And, then they keep talking about how the economy is more resilient.
Sure, there have been some speed bumps, but, I think so far the economy's been more resilient.
How's it been resilient? The economy's contracting. We have our economic growth is just pathetic. Earnings are pathetic. Wages, not even keeping up with inflation. Wages, we got those numbers. We're at 4.3%. Well, inflation's near 5%. And we have debt expanding like crazy. We have record high credit card debt, record low savings. And we have record high household debt. So what are they talking about? We have got record high mortgage debt, auto debt, credit card debt, all records, student loan debt, and record delinquencies. Now, all of that, remember, is linked to the record withdrawals from savings and from home equity and 401ks. So I don't see how things are doing well when people are pulling their savings out and their home equity out and their 401k pulling money out of that. And by the way, that's all linked back to decrease in income, an increase in multiple jobs. We have more multiple jobs than we've ever had in our economy. And they're all low-paying, terrible jobs, no benefits. And we have a lower standard of living. I don't know what they're talking about. And this all because of Biden's policies, his monetary policies. The American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, omnibus bill. We had no money to pay for that. And what's really interesting, nobody gets what's going on. Like, they're all excited, like, hey, Wednesday, guess what? They may pause. It won't make any difference if they pause. Who cares if it pauses? Pause? What are they talking about? It's not going to make any difference. Now, it would if we were at zero interest rates, but it doesn't make any difference when your interest rate, the Fed rate, has gone from 0 to 5.25. And the last time we went to 5.25, our housing bubble blew up from 2004 to 2005. Matter of fact, in 2005, if you remember, Bush created such a housing bubble You didn't even have to have a job. They never you looked at any of your reports or your money. You could pick your own payment. But remember the 5.25. In 2005, they were in deep trouble with housing. So they had to raise rates back up, the Fed rate from 1.3% back up to 5.25%. That was in 2005. By the time it went through the system, which takes about a year, by the way, people don't understand that. When you raise a rate, the effects of that rate hike doesn't hit you. It takes about a year. And sure enough, 12 months later, that's when the housing bubble blew up at 5.25. We're at 5.25 today. And our housing bubble is going to break. It's not going to take a year. It's not going to take a year because of the scale is so much larger than it was back in 2004 to 2006. So let's talk about that. This Wednesday, they're going to put a pause. I'm telling you, it's not going to make any difference at all. Sure, we may get a little rally if they pause, get excited, but at the end of the day, this market's going to continue to crash. And here's how you figure that out. As I said, if you go back to 9/11, after 9/11, well, go back to the dot-com, and then you had 9/11, and G.W. Bush had a real problem. I mean, he got hit with both, the dot-com, the 9/11, and then he decided, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I got to create an economy. We're in trouble. So they said, let's create a housing bubble. We'll build a housing economy. So what did he do? They took the Fed rate that was near 5%, and they dropped it down to 1.3%. This way they could drop. This way here, your Fed rate, or your 30-year fixed rate mortgage would drop to about 4.5%, 5%. And then this bubble started. And you don't have to go through that. You know all the craziness in that bubble. But the point I'm making is, as soon as he got in trouble, he had to start tightening. You got to start tightening instead of all this. Remember how they do this. When they want to start a housing bubble, the first thing they do is start the printing machines, and they take all the money from the printing machines and they go to the banks and buy all the mortgages that's on the bank's books. A lot of banks back then, because of interest rates, they held their own mortgages. So they would go and say, look, let me have all your mortgages, called mortgage-backed securities. Let me take your mortgages, and now I'm going to replenish you with cash. So now you've got cash reserves. I want you to go out and expand. You got all these reserves. Get it out there. Loan it out. And that's what they did. But then towards 2005, from 2003 to 2005, they knew it was crazy what they were doing. They had to tighten up that money again. They had to tighten up that demand. They had to stop that demand. And they went right back from 1.3% Fed rates to 5.25%. Boom, it blew up. Then they said, okay, we got to create another bubble. What do we do now? See, they would never let these things go into a recession and clean up everybody's balance sheet, get rid of everybody's debt. No, they didn't want to do that. Because why? Because inflation wasn't a bad thing for the people who make all the money, the very wealthy. They love inflation. They love inflation. And also the government loves inflation so they can pay down. The inflation pays down our national debt, the interest on our national debt, where we don't have to write a check. So now in 2008, 2009, there they go. They start with zero rates. And they give us a big line that, oh, this is going to be great. What we're going to do is we're going to take and print all this money called QE. And it's going to be zero interest rates. And we're going to give all that money to our CEOs, and they're going to buy their own shares. And that'll push the stock prices up, and everybody's going to benefit. That's a bold-faced lie. Nobody benefit except them. So what they did, they took all these zero rates. So again, a CEO, he's got 1 million shares outstanding. His stock's at $25 a share. He wants to move it up to $35, $40 a share. What does he do? He reduces the 1 million shares outstanding, reduces to 800,000. He's got the money to do it. It's free. And when he reduces it, what happens? all of a sudden earnings without any profits go up. And what do earnings do? Push up the price of the stock without any profits. It's called financial engineering or unearned increment. And this is what they did with these zero rates from 2008 to 2015. And then I'm going to finish this little story, and you're going to understand better why it's not going to make any difference if they pause. It may make things worse.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day it goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call. 877-600-GANG. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
Phil Grandy has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
S&P getting out of bear market territory. What does that say to you for the broader market to make some upside moves?
I think we're in a new bull market, Frank.
If we look at credit spreads like BAA versus triple B versus Treasury spreads, they're actually 20 basis points wider than they were in February. Yes, they've tightened a bit off the October lows, but typically again 8 months into a new advance, you're going to see credit spreads tighten significantly. We just haven't seen that, and so to the points you brought up, we've seen breadth divergences, we've seen credit divergences, and those are two pretty big important things that we typically don't see at this point in a new bull market.
So what is it? Well, I'm going to explain to you which one it is. Who's right, rather. As I said at the beginning of the show, it doesn't mean a thing if they pause on Wednesday, because our Fed rate is 5.25. If it was at 0, then it would. Remember, every time they brought the Fed rate down to 0 is when you had a rally. You had Fed rates going down to 1.25 during the housing bubble under Bush, and then it crashed when he brought the Fed rate back up to 5.25. We had the big housing crash due to the 5.25. Zero rates. We started out zero rates from 2008 to 2015. Not on earnings, not on profits. Stocks were driven by stock buybacks. And it was an incentive for a CEO to buy his own stock back because he could borrow the money interest-free. And then when he borrowed the money interest-free, he would take stock options. And then he would go in, and if he had, like I said, 1 million shares at $25, all he had to do is buy 200,000 shares, reduce it to 800,000. Then his earnings, this is called financial engineering, this is why it was illegal, his earnings would go up without profits. And that would push up his stock price from 25 to 35 without profits. It's called unearned increment. It was illegal at a time. So as long as rates were at 0, they kept doing stock buybacks until Yellen in 2015 said, whoa, we got a lot of inflation here. Red flag. But she was a coward. She only raised rates a quarter. She should have raised rates 5.25. If she did, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in today. So she raised it a quarter. Are you kidding me? Were you nuts? Just a quarter? That's what she did. So they kept rallying the market. Powell comes in 2018, and he raised the Fed rate from a quarter to 2.5. And that's when I said we're going to have a correction, remember? And we did. I said that in January, we had the correction last quarter, 2018. Then they started to lower rates a little bit, or not much, and the rally continued until COVID, 2020. But it wasn't COVID that took the market down 28%. It was the inflation that was taking the market down, but they passed it off as COVID. So what did they do? Instead of raising rates, they go right back to the same playbook. They don't care about the inflation because it benefits the wealthy and it benefits Congress. They can pay the debt to China without writing checks because we destroy our dollar and our debt is in dollars, and therefore our debt goes down without writing them checks. What do? They go right back to 0, took the playbook from Bush and said, let's have another housing rally. They knew what happened to the housing rally 2002 to 2006. Soon as the Fed rate went from 1% to 5.25%, it blew up. So they started the housing rally during COVID. Houses went up 40, 50, 70% here in Sarasota. Are you kidding me? And then in 2021, that was it. It was over. Inflation was so high, and it was choking everybody off. The inflation, they had to stop. And when they stopped with QE, zero rates, the market dropped, as you know, from November 2021 to November 2022, down 38%, the NASDAQ. And the S&P went down about 28%. But here's the point. In November 2022, what'd they do? They had rates from 0 back to 5.25%. Well, wait a minute. How are they going to rally stocks if rates are at 5.25%? Every time they rallied stocks before, especially from 2008 to 2015, we were at zero rates, and the CEOs were buying back their own shares. Now, some of the CEOs are buying back still their own shares, but not like it used to be. So they go to 5.25%. Now they're telling us, here we are at 5.25%, and they may pause. What difference does it make? Because here's why the stocks are going up. Because in the S&P, they're financially engineering it again. Every dollar that goes into the S&P 500, 25% of every dollar goes to the same 5 stocks, and you know them. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, the same 5 stocks. That's how they're rallying the market. 25% of the money that goes to the S&P, of every dollar goes to those same 5 stocks. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, you know them all. Now, the NASDAQ, 54%, or let's use 50, 50% of every dollar that's invested in the NASDAQ or in the Qs goes to the same 4, 5 stocks. So they're pumping these stocks up without zero rates. What they're doing is taking all the money they can find and limit it to the same 5 stocks. Are you nuts? Nobody sees this. Then what happened? Come March 2023, here we got rates up, and then we have the banks collapse. In March, we have the banks collapse. And our inflation's getting worse. No more zero rates. And then on top of that, you had monetary stimulus policy of Biden's that killed us. The American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Plan, the Omnibus Plan, that was killing us. Add to that another $7 trillion of record spending in 22 months, $61 trillion over the next 8 years for new green energy, $73 trillion over the next 10 years, $75 billion goes to Ukraine, $400 billion goes to the 3 bank failures. Are you nuts? And we have none of that money. We have to keep printing it. So again, at 5.25%, and they're going to pause, it'd make a difference with 0, but not 5.25%. When I get back, I'm going to tell you what happens.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grain at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down. It keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
What are you, nuts? 85% of the people do not know how to get out of the market. They lose money because they don't know when to get out. I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. I solved that with my Pro 2 color-coded chart. It tells you when to get out. It tells you when to get in, tells you what to add, not to add, but specifically, when do I get out? It tells you that. Check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Get your 10-day free trial of my Pro 2 color-coded chart and a membership.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grandy.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil. Phil Grandy and Phil's Gang presents the Life-Saving Financial Webinar. This webinar will guide and teach you how to understand the stock market and become an experienced investor. Learn from the experts on market trends and short and long-term investments. Join Phil Grandy, Steve Celeste, and Will Sharp Saturday, June 24th, noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. $80 pre-seminar archived for 2 weeks or $125 post-seminar to purchase the archive. Get more info at philsgang.com.
That's right, on the $80. Okay, and that's going to be on our June 24th, noon to 3. If you can't make it, don't forget it's archived for 2 weeks, so you have it for 2 weeks. And this is going to be really important because you're going to learn how to short, but you're going to learn how to market work. Again, and this is hard to get across to people. They don't get it. When every rally we had in the stock market is from zero rates. Every one. From 2008 to 2021. All zero rates. And as soon as they stopped, where CEOs no longer got money free to purchase their own stock, to reduce the amount of outstanding shares, which is financial engineering, because every time you reduce your own shares, your earnings go up, not connected to profits. You could be losing $1 million a day, but your earnings would go up, and it pushes up your stock price. They played this game since 2008. And finally, they started to push the interest rates up. A quarter in 2015, 2.5 in 2018. And then when COVID hit, what did they do? Go right to zero again. Got to get this market going. Get right back to zero. And we had a housing rally and a stock rally, and it all came tumbling down on November of 2020. They said, we got to stop. This inflation is killing us, because on top of us driving this inflation with printing all this money to buy treasuries to keep interest rates down, you got Biden spending 40% more than the income we have from tax revenue, and he's killing us with all his spending. And inflation's going up. They had to stop. And then the market drops down 38%. And then they raised rates to 5.25%. So if every time, the only time stocks, these tech stocks would go up was with zero rates, then how are these tech stocks going up today at 5.25%? Think about that. How? It's simple. More financial engineering. They're taking money, 50% of the money that goes in the queues, they drive it to the same 5 stocks. Because interest rates are at 5.25%. The Fed rate's at 5.25%, not zero. No more stock buyback. Now, some of the companies are still, these 5 companies are still buying some of their own shares back. NVIDIA bought a whole bunch back lately. But my point is, it's at 5.25%. So we're sitting in a 5.25% environment. I don't care what they say on Wednesday. Pause what? What are they pausing? Interest rate hikes were already at 5.25%. And the minute you stop, just the same thing that happened with the dot-com. Same thing. A handful of stocks were driving the dot-com, doing the same thing. And as soon as they stopped, the dot-com just dropped like a flying monkey. What do you think's going to happen here? We hit 5.25%, and we have not even hit our housing market. 2 things are going to happen at once. We're going to have the huge housing crash like we had back in 2006 to 2007, 2005, 2007. Same thing's going to happen. It's already happening. Already happening. People, look at almost everybody stopped buying a house. And so the only saving grace you got right now, and it's so dangerous that people are jumping in. Now, it's different. If you got in with us on these 5 stocks, if you got in with us in January and February, March, when it started, then you're fine. You can keep staying in the game because we've taken a lot of profits. And we've also been rotating out of these 5 tech stocks into some banks. We've done terrific into travel stocks like our airlines and our cruise lines. One cruise line's up 17%. But going back to the tech stocks, you've got to understand that. That 5.25% is going to kill you. People who are jumping in these tech stocks right now, it's like going and buying a house right now. You've got to be out of your mind. House prices in Sarasota, I seen them go up 70%, and people were buying them. I saw one house was at $1.5 million, and then went up to $2.5 million. Then it went to $4 million, all within a year, and they sold it for $4 million. Some idiot bought it. He's going to lose big time. But going back to our stock market, remember, The 5.25 is the same 5.25 that the housing bubble blew up in 2005, 2006. Now, it's not going to take a year like it did in the housing bubble that we had back in 2004, say to 2007. Remember, they raised their rates to 5.25 in 2005, and a year later, the effects hit, boom, 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 a big blow up. The scale is so much larger right now. It's incredible. Our debt is so much larger. I don't think it's going to take 3 months, 4 months. But if you're jumping into these tech stocks right now, you know them all, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, those are the popular ones. If you're jumping in those stocks right now and think, oh, this is a deal, I got to get in before they go higher, you are going to be so screwed. It's going to be unbelievable. Because what you're not thinking is, hey, it's 5.25. The rates are 5.25, friend. They're 5, not 0. Now, do you know how fast it would take these guys where they could stop immediately driving that money into these 5 stocks? And this thing will tank, huge. It's going to take out these October lows so fast. And in December 2022 low on the Qs so fast because we don't have a 0 rate. I know I keep repeating that, but I know I don't get across to anybody when you're telling them. They don't even envision it. They say, oh, they'll keep going up if they pause. If they pause, it doesn't make any difference at 5.25. If they pause, you're going to get all these tourists coming back in, jumping into the same 5 stocks, thinking they're going to get rich, and they're going to get slaughtered. Anyways, enough of that. It just drives you crazy. So it's and again, I got my my little chart up here. If you want to see it, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Rumble, you can look at it right now if you want to hold it up here for a while. And otherwise, you can go to my archive tonight because it will show you, it just lays it right out how these interest rates. And when you look at it, it's just so clear. It's such a fake, phony market from 2003 all the way up. They did the same thing. 0 rate, 0 rate, 0 rates. Okay. So that's where we stand. So right now, we got everybody all excited about Wednesday. We're going to have this big pause. Everybody's excited. Really? Here's what you don't understand either. Remember, the inflation that we have is incredible. It's created by all that massive printing of money starting back in 2004, 2002 for the housing bubble, and that never stopped. So now you have, on top of that, you have the American Rescue Plan, all that inflation, then the Inflation Reduction Act, and then the Omnibus Bill. Where'd all that money come from? We printed it. Add to that all the other spending he's doing. It's insane. 7 trillion, 61 trillion, 73 trillion, Ukraine 75 billion. This is insane. Now, here's the problem, is the record deficits. That's the death of this economy. There's nothing worse than deficits and inflation. Deficits are killing us. And Biden's even running back-to-back deficits. Deficits kill your economy. Just kill it. So you got to learn how to short. So please sign up for our webinar on January 24th, 12 to 3. Also, join our gang, June 24th, 12 to 3 p.m.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Phil Grandy and Phil's Gang presents the Life-Saving Financial Webinar. This webinar will guide and teach you how to understand the stock market and become an experienced investor. Learn from the experts on market trends and short and long-term investments. Join Phil Grandy, Steve Celeste, and Will Sharp Saturday, June 24th, noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. $80 pre-seminar, archived for 2 weeks, or $125 post-seminar to purchase the archive. Get more info at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, good afternoon, gang. It's Steve Celeste here with philsgang.com. Just wanted to tell you how to get engaged with Phil's Gang and how to become part of the Phil's Gang membership or how to try us for 10 days free. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's www.philsgang.com and click on Get Started at the top of the website. Click on the big red banner that says Working Investor 10-day free trial, and that's all you got to do. And hey, while you're at the website, why not stop by our gift shop, see if there's something in there for you or for somebody you know. All right, thanks, and back to you, Phil.
Okay, Steve. Join Steve, myself, and Willie. Remember, on the 24th of June, 12 to 3. If you can't make it, it's okay because it's archived for 2 weeks. And you're going to learn how the market works. I mean, just like when they, on Wednesday, if they pause, what good is it? What good is it? If they cut rates back to zero, that's what's been driving the market up since 2004. That's all that's been driving the market. Not earnings, not profits, not top-line sales. This game of financial engineering. And people made a fortune. But now we got people not understanding that when the interest rates, it's a big difference when the Fed rates at zero. You go buy these tech stocks than when the interest rate, the Fed rate's at 5.25%, and you're buying these tech stocks today? And if they ease on Wednesday, what are you going to jump in and buy then because they're easing? What does easing mean? Who cares? It's at 5.25%. They're not easing anything. Ease would be to drop it down to 1.25%. They're not going to do that. They can't because they're being killed with all the money that Biden's been spending. 40% more than he's taking in. We have 74-year low productivity. We have the lowest manufacturing 14 years. Lowest new orders in 3 years. We got 21 factories closing every day. We have no productivity. We have no orders. Our trade deficits are horrible. Our corporate debt, our commercial debt, household debt, we're in trouble. And now we're at 5.25%, and they are going to pause. And everybody's bouncing around all excited. And that's why the market's going up again today. But just remember, what you got to watch for is when, again, the Qs, half the money that's going in there keeps going to the same 5 stocks until it doesn't. Till it doesn't. The S&P, they're taking 25% of all the money that's put into the S&P, 25% of it, and they're buying the same 5 stocks. How are you going to know when they're not doing that anymore? You won't. And if you're buying those stocks now or Wednesday when it's, we've eased, we're not going to raise rates, then say to them, well, wait a minute. That's not easing. Easing is going from 5.25% Fed rate down to 0. And let them do stock buybacks like they've been doing since 2004. So many people are going to get caught because, look, our Pro 2 color-coded chart, the one that we designed, 22 years ago, it works. It identifies. You can use it with your regular chart. It will assist anybody's chart. And what it tells you is, okay, you're ready to buy, but it's red. It's telling you, well, your candlesticks are green, or red and green, whatever color you have. But when you look at it, all of a sudden it's all red. It's telling you, I better not buy right now. I better not buy because it's red. It's telling me it's dangerous to buy. When it turns green, you buy. When it's red, you sell short. You sell short. And you're going to learn how to do that. Join our gang. You get 10 days free. You'll learn how to sell short. You got to learn how to sell short. You know, the other thing that people aren't talking about either is one of the biggest problems we got, and it's going to tear this market down. Okay, not only because we have the 5.25% rate. Okay, it's not raising these tech stocks anymore. As I said, it's all that money going into the same stocks, and that's very dangerous. But Social Security, our politicians are gutless. They got to do something. 1/4, think about this. Our Social Security programs account for almost 1/4 of all federal spending. That's insane. Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all that spending. More than half of the entire federal budget is for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. This is nuts. 83% of the projected growth in spending through 2027 is due to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. We are in deep trouble. And interest on our debt, and our debt is going insane. Our debt is insane. So the problem with Social Security, it's got to grow. We need more. We're not bringing in enough tax revenues. Like Biden, he's spending 40% more than our tax revenue coming in. We don't have enough people out there working to that we can get that Social Security check from, get that money from them. We don't have enough people working. Too many people are they're getting handouts. I mean, right now, Medicare, Social Security, okay, about $50 trillion of it is unfunded. And they think at this rate, we're going to be depleted by 2034. Now, who are they blaming this all on? Oh, yeah, there they go, blaming on the baby boomers. The baby boomers had nothing to do with it. They knew when the baby boomers were ready to get retired, they already fixed it. a big part of our American working population is earning less than Social Security trustees anticipated, and therefore are paying less in Social Security tax. It has nothing to do with the baby boomers, so stop blaming it on baby boomers. So, in other words, if these geniuses, these politicians that were running this program, if they had the American workers keep up, increase productivity, and pay more of their Social Security payments with holding tax, we'd be okay. But the problem is our economy's not growing. We got a lot of people who aren't working because they can stay home and collect checks. So this is a real major problem for the stock market. But you never hear anybody talking about that either. It's unbelievable. So the middle class right now is in deep trouble. And everybody who's in their 401ks, right, they're getting slaughtered, especially the middle class. They depend on that 401k. And their 401ks are down at least 20% or more. That will never happen to you if you're a gang member. Never. Because you're going to catch the opposite side of the trade. When things are wrong in the market and stocks go down, you're going to be short. But again, to sit there and just every day I watch this, and I tell my team here, I said, you realize that people are going to get slaughtered? They keep jumping in these same 5 stupid stocks. They didn't buy them in January. They didn't buy them in February. We bought them. They're buying them today, thinking they're going to get rich. And they don't even know what the Fed rate is. Any professional looks at the Fed rate at 5.25. You think they're going to buy any one of these 5 tech stocks today? And this is a joke when they say, well, we're going to pause. We'll pause. Well, pause on zero rates. Then I'm in. I'll go buy these stocks all day long. But on 5.25, I'm not in. Because any day they can stop. And they'll stop on a dime. And this way, if you can identify that's happening in advance, which we'll teach you how to do, you can get set up for a short. There's nothing like shorting stocks. What a relief that is. All of a sudden, you wake up one morning and the market's down 600, 800 points. One morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to see the market down at least 800 to 1,000 points. Because of this, because the rate right now is 5.25, the Fed rate, and not 0. And we have as many people right now buying these tech stocks at 5.25 than when they were at 0. Can you imagine that? But you don't have the big boys. You don't have the institutions that are buying at 5.25. We have more tourists buying these same 5 tech stocks when the Fed rate's at 5.25. Can you imagine that? Join my gang, philsgang.com. Check it out. Also, don't forget, sign up for our webinar on June 24. Do both. Remember, join the gang, 10 days free.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.